Of course. Of course, a notification will come up on my computer as I start this broadcast. Welcome, fellow brothers and sisters, fellow radiators of love, to Astro Phoenix, flying into the moment yet again and radiating love as always. Welcome to this channeled message for today, April 23rd, 2020. It's currently 12:45 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I don't really expect anyone to hop on the live in the comments, but you all will see this video. And as you could probably tell, I have been rather absent from the channel. I've been going through it, just like you, I'm sure. I've been going through it. A lot of it's being confronted with my own shadow, with my own demons, with my own reflection during this time. And like many people, I'm sure I feel the same way. There's this sense of sort of, how can you say, what can I do about it? What the fuck can I do about what's going on? Guys, we are heading into a new world. That's what I titled this as, a new world. And I feel like what's happening really here is sort of like what happens when a cell undergoes division and it begins to replicate itself and multiply. The world as we know it is dividing in a sense, and it's going to create two new worlds. One world, which would be this sort of one world government, or one world ruled by a totalitarian government, where, it's going to be more transhumanist, kind of infused with technology and all that good shit. Then the other world is going to be more of the natural world, but at a heightened level never before seen on this earth. Now, we have achieved these things on this earth, but what's going to happen now is that this world is actually splitting. And on one side, you're going to have like this whole one world, which is going to appear rather idealistic. And you're going to have on this other end, the new world. The new world, which is the natural world, the true world, the world that is of the vibration of love and not of the vibration of fear, because that's really what's happening. That is the determining factor. One world is going to be ruled by love, and one world is going to be ruled by fear. This is very important, and I'm sure you all can feel this. There are a lot of influences surrounding this world that is being created that's being ruled by fear. And a lot of people, like I said, a lot of people can feel this. I can certainly feel this. I've even felt like at times influenced by it. I'm not going to lie. That being said, this time has allowed me to look in the mirror and to kind of see where I need to adjust so I may evolve with the new world, the natural world, the true world, the world that God intended for us to live in. The original world, if you will, that was hijacked and bastardized. That is the world that is being created right now. But this is going to be a world that's most certainly going to be unlike anything we have ever seen on this planet. But there's great opposition here. I'm not saying this to fearmonger or to get anyone scared or get anyone, all conspiratorial. These aren't conspiracies, theories. These are conspiracy facts, truths, if you will. We just experienced a new moon in Taurus at 3 degrees, and this is very important because this new moon, there's a lot of things going on with it. First of all, it's going to be one of these first new moons in Taurus over the next couple years, that's going to make that square over to Saturn in Aquarius. Saturn, which has been in Aquarius for, about a month or so, a little over a month actually. It's been there, maybe even a little bit longer. Made a square over to Saturn in Aquarius, right? Now, the moon, of course, likes to be in Taurus, right? The moon loves to be in Taurus, right? It's very comfortable there, very solid in its emotions. It's a feel-good kind of energy, Everything's going well. You have good food. You have a roof over your head. And that's kind of what's interesting right now is because a lot of people are finding themselves at home more now than ever. Hopefully with a roof over their head, good food, good water, and good company, hopefully. Of course, you have the injection of Uranus into this energy, which is also in Taurus, which definitely shakes things up. Uranus is a very electrifying energy, and in Taurus, it doesn't really like to be there. Why? I'm going to actually use a Pokemon analogy right now because that's what came up. All right. If Uranus is electricity, right, and we think of Taurus as the earth, the ground, in Pokemon, you have type advantages and type disadvantages, and you even have immunities. You have Pokemon that are known as ground type Pokemon, which we can say is the earth, is Taurus, and then you have Uranus, which is electric. Ground is immune to electric energy. So whenever Uranus is in Taurus, it has difficulty here because it can't really get its message across, right? When lightning strikes the ground, the ground it conducts that electricity. It just absorbs the electricity, right? So that's kind of what's going on right now. Uranus is wanting to kind of bring that light bulb on in everyone. But since it's in Taurus, a lot of that energy just gets sucked up by the ground. It just gets sucked up by the earth, right? And the only way that Uranus is really going to get through to us is if there's some sort of shaking in the foundation of our reality. That, my friends, is the square to Saturn. That, my friends, is the square to all of that Aquarius energy. That's what's going on here. There is a shakeup in the foundation of our reality. There is a shakeup in the Mother Gaia. There's a shakeup in our sense of values. Not only our values, but what we believe about those values. Why? Because this new moon was at 3 degrees, and 3 is ruled by Jupiter's Sagittarius energy, which is in many ways about our belief structure, how we learn. Travel is completely stunted right now. So even though this was a new moon for 3 degrees and Taurus is a very stubborn energy, doesn't like to really move. A lot of us find ourselves not being able to move. But the greatest way that we can travel right now is actually with ourself. I have found lately that my dreams have been all kinds of crazy and intense. And I find that I usually travel the furthest in my dreams than in reality. In fact, I haven't really done that much traveling. I haven't been to too many places. Not that I haven't wanted to, but it's just my collective decisions over life have made it so I haven't given myself the opportunity to travel as much as I would like to, despite the fact that I'm a Sagittarius rising and Sagittarius Mercury. I haven't traveled as much as I want to. But now a lot of people can't. We have restrictions. We have, all of these different rules and regulations now, which is causing people to stay seemingly stuck in the mud, stuck at home, right? Of course, we have the North Node in Cancer, getting ready to move into Gemini. And this is certainly a time. And to be honest, I feel like if society were to continue along the way that it has, I think that we need a sort of yearly shutdown for at least a month anyways, because that will actually be in tune with nature. In fact, that's kind of how it really was back in the day. You think about it, you harvest during, springtime comes and that's when you're planting all your stuff. Fall, you're doing the harvesting. Winter, things slow down. There's not a lot of activity, right? generally, at least, outside of the Tropic of Cancer and Capricorn, where, the temperature typically changes and it becomes colder. So there really is a halt to the economical nature of society, anyways, naturally, right? But we've kind of created a sort of buffer from nature, and now, typically, during the winter, things don't really slow down. You still have to try and beat last quarter, right? So our society is not even in tune with nature because we don't even slow down in the winter like we're supposed to do. We're supposed to slow down in the winter. Maybe Capricorn season is the time where we like organize our businesses so they can make it through the fall time, and organize our lives so they can make it through the fall time. Aquarius is, of course, when we really focus on the giving and, making sure that humanity is good. And then Pisces time is the time to rest and to chill and sleep and to fantasize and go into dream world. Pisces season is actually the time where we're supposed to slow down. This year, we had this sort of forced slowdown during Aries season, which is about springing forward. It made no sense. Now these restrictions are going to start to be lifted during Taurus season, and we're going to really see what everyone's true values are. But as I've said, we are coming into a new world. A new world. And I want to talk a little bit about this new world as opposed to the one world that is also simultaneously being created. As I've said, the one world being created along the vibration predominantly ruled by fear, the new world, which is love. Because you see, in the one world, it's becoming firstly increasingly harder for them to hide this shit from us. It really is. It's hard as hell for them to hide this from us. And there are a lot of people in this world, a lot of spirits, a lot of beings in this world that have come here to wake everyone up so we can move into the new world, which, like I said, is going to be one where we utilize the technology of nature to the highest degree. Something which has not been done on this planet. We've gotten close. We got close with Lemuria. We got close with Atlantis. We got close with Egypt. We got close with ancient Tibet and India. We got close with, ancient, like not Mesopotamia, the Aztecs and the Incas. We got close to these. We got close to it, but we haven't quite gotten there yet. We didn't quite reach that yet. But this new world, will have actually the potential to reach the pinnacle of utilizing the technology of nature, the true technology, the most advanced technology to the highest degree. Whereas the other world is going to use this other technology, which is still technically of nature, but is so far removed you can't really recognize it. Because all of the things that you see around you, all the technology that you have, your phones, your computers, all this sort of stuff, right? It still came out of nature, but it's so far removed that it's really hard to recognize it. It's masked under so many fucking layers, right? And of course, a lot of this is alien technology, but they won't tell us. It's kind of interesting. It's kind of interesting because I find myself enjoying aspects of the old world, sports, which is, of course, been bastardized and televised and made into this whole sensational thing. I love sports. I love my football, my soccer. I enjoy basketball from time to time, but there's something when you're playing with balls, which are representations of planets. You got to understand that you see Vegas doing all these like bets on sports and other stuff. Don't think for a second that the gods aren't betting on these games as well, and that these games are actually rituals. Don't think for a second that they're not, because they definitely are. and they are actually very spiritual in nature. We could talk about that more in a later video. Um, how I believe that, when it comes to these sports, I think football is one of the most actually spiritual and divine sports of all. That's why I don't think it's any coincidence that Tom Brady's going to be playing for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, which when you think of Buccaneers, you think of pirates and piracy and stealing. Anyways, um, there's a lot of changes that are happening right now. There are a lot of changes that are happening right now. The best thing that we can do right now is to get familiar and to recall the technology of our bodies. Now, I'm not perfect at this. It's something I'm working at. But how can we do this? We can exercise, we can balance our energy, we can meditate, we can eat better. Eating better is probably one of the biggest ones. That's one that I'm not necessarily the greatest at, you know. Where ideally you would eat predominantly fruits and vegetables and grains that you grow yourself. And if you had to have animal meat, you would get it yourself. You would fish your own fish, you will hunt your own meat. That way you knew where it came from. Ideally, that's where it would be. And you would really only eat meat when it was absolutely necessary, usually during the winter time. If you happen to run out of stock of vegetables and fruits and grains to get you through that time. Now, I'm not perfect with this, right? I just had some, I just made a nice dinner, had some Asian noodles with mixed vegetables and some shrimp. Now, it was honestly very good. I don't even eat shrimp that often anymore. I've actually found myself with certain things that I used to really enjoy, not eating them as much anymore. These are changes. And this is about, of course, like I said, this new moon in Taurus. Values. What do we believe about these values? What do we believe about food? What do we believe about this earth? What do we believe about nature? What do we believe about these things? How do these beliefs shape our actions, our identities, even who we are? How does this shape how we treat each other, how we treat this earth? How does it reflect these things? I think it's clear that we don't really treat this world incredibly. We kind of treat this world poorly. But what's also clear is that it does not take long for Mother Gaia to really bounce back. Yes, there's still a lot of environmental issues that are going on. But according, of course, to these writings and to the scientists, whether you want to believe everything that they say or not, I typically don't. But I've even experienced it where like these animals are actually coming out more. They're like, oh snap, the humans, they're like locked up. I wonder what happened. Well, let's go out more. You're starting to see this more. It does not take long for nature to bounce back. That's because nature is so strong and so pure and is of the truth and it's very divine that it even shows you just like even though we like to think that our impact is so great and we do have a great impact, but it does not take long for Mother Gaia to bounce back. She is healing, right? She is healing right now, quickly, quickly. She is aware, she is breathing. The earth is a breathing, living thing, an organism. Don't think for a second that it's not. These trees, they're breathing. The sand on the beach, the sand in the desert, it breathes. These rocks, which don't even move, they breathe. The rivers, the oceans, the streams, the lakes, they breathe. It's a living, breathing thing, and we are a part of it. That's why we must do our job to protect it. That was the original mission, to protect the earth, to be the guardians of earth, because this is actually meant to be a paradise. It's a crazy ass experiment, mind you, but that's what it was meant to be. But it got hijacked. It got hijacked. But here's the thing, though. With the one world, there's a tower of cards that is falling. It's falling in slow motion. but it's kind of speeding up at the same time, but it's in slow motion. And now they're scrambling to try to pick up the pieces because so many people, you included, if you happen to be listening to this, are quote unquote waking up from the dream, waking up from the age of Pisces dream. Not all dreams within the age of Pisces were bad or negative or nightmarish, but you're waking up from the dream. Even good dreams you have to wake up from. You've had good dreams, right? You still have to wake up from them and come back into reality. What will you do with those good dreams? Those good visions, those good epiphanies that you had in that dream state? What will you do with them? Will you be like, oh, it's just a dream? Or is it a symptom of a deeper cause? That's what makes Pisces so fucking magical. And that's why Pisces is so misunderstood. It's such a high vibrational energy in its exaltation and its in the positive application of it, that it really is a sort of unexplainable sort of thing. How can these dreams be real? How can they really mean something deeper? But they do. But we're all waking up from the dream. And now we're coming into this age of Aquarius energy, this fixed air energy. And there are two symptoms of this. Every time you enter into a new age or to a new energy, and we experience this predominantly through the nodes. Why? Because just as the nodes do, the ages move backwards, right? If you look into the Bible, it starts off with the age of Taurus. Then it goes back into the age of Aries and then the age of Pisces. Now we're in the age of Aquarius. The nodes follow similar suit. They go backwards. The nodes, which of course are based off of the moon, and this is why they've actually demonized the moon, because they don't want you to know the true power of the moon. They don't want you to know the true power of the moon. I'm not saying that the sun's not important, but they don't want you to know the true power of the moon. The moon is very powerful. It's very important. But we get a sort of taste of this energy as the nodes go backwards, right? Now, of course, we haven't had. When was the last time that the North Node was in Aquarius? Let's just look it up, because it's probably been quite a while since the North Node was in Aquarius. But let's just look it up. The last time that it actually entered into Aquarius, it was pre-2012. It was around 2007 and 2008 when it entered into Aquarius. And then, of course, 2012 happened. The North Node was in Sag. So the next time that the North Node will come back into Aquarius, which is when we're really going to become aware of the age of Aquarius, is going to be, oh, look at that. It's going to be the end of the decade. 2026, 2027, coming into those last few years, right? That's when we're going to see that energy again. That's when we're really going to know that the age of Aquarius is really here. We've gotten the South Node in Aquarius since 2012. We've gotten that energy, and that's sort of representative of the sort of one world, where Aquarius, while it is about the people and it's the humanitarian, it's also a fixed energy, and it's air. So this is about thoughts. It's about your thoughts and communication. The one world wants to get everyone on the same thought pattern, the same thought energy, the same thought wave. While Aquarius is definitely an individual, and you like to think that you can't put them in a box, the negative side of Aquarius, the other side of Aquarius, is a bunch of people that dress the same and act the same. And there's no yielding from it. If you haven't watched the movie The Giver, that is a great representation of South Node and Aquarius kind of energy. And that's a great representation of kind of where the world is right now, because that was the energy that we got first after the 2012 shift, after that major awakening. There are now, of course, there are awakenings that happen every single year. There are waves that happen every single year, but 2012 was important. It was very important, right? And we've seen these things. Everyone's wearing the same colors. They're usually wearing white or gray. There's like no color, no sense of like uniqueness, none of that. That's one side of it. The other side of it is where everyone is expressing their individuality and they're communicating it. What's the third house of Aquarius? Aries, right? Aries definitely has that power and that warrior mentality, that go get it kind of mentality. And that being the third house of Aquarius is about communicating that, not being afraid to communicate it. But in an evolved sense, it's also recognizing that while we are all connected energetically, that we are still all playing these individual roles, and that each individual role is unique, divine, sacred, powerful, and loved, and is not above or below another. That's the other aspect of it. It's hard to see that right now because we have Chiron in Aries. It's hard to see that right now because everyone is trying to figure out who the fuck they are. That's what Chiron in Aries is. Everyone's trying to figure out who the fuck they are, and it fucking hurts. It's some major fucking growing pains that we're all going through right now. But despite all this, and maybe I'm naive, right? Maybe I'm a little naive with this one, right? But fuck it, I'll stay naive, right? I still believe that there is ultimately good in every being. But I do feel like there are certain people and beings that have gone over the edge and are swimming in dark waters and are trying to make everyone believe a certain thing and think a certain way. I don't agree with that aspect. So it is up to us, those of us who recognize these atrocities, those of us who want to grow with the new world, which is really pretty much like an ancient future kind of energy. I know it sounds weird. Ancient, usually when you think of ancient, you think of the past, and the future, of course, you think of the future, but this is like ancient future kind of energy, where we're going to be stepping into this new world that technology is synonymous with nature. Nature is technology, is the ultimate technology. Everything that we ever needed was right there in front of us, in the trees, in the mountains, the rivers, and our bodies. It was right there in front of us. Like I said, I'm not perfect. I want to do better myself as far as integrating these energies, to know them more, to become familiar with them. I'm going to take my steps towards doing it, Coming into a new world. It's very intense right now. I encourage you to be compassionate with yourself through this time, to be kind to yourself, because I believe, I really do believe that, love will have the final say in reality. I really do believe that. But I do believe that one of the I'm not gonna say precursors to it, but I'm going to say one of the first steps to actualizing that and realizing that energy is realizing the importance of kindness, and a true authentic kindness, where you recognize that everyone is your kin. Kin is in the word kindness, right? When you realize that everyone is your kin, there is no separation. We are all one in a sense. But what is it that, I would say, what is it that allows some people to be able to tap into certain energies and not others, right? What is it that makes someone an artist and someone else a construction worker or a athlete or a writer or something else? What is it that does that? Why is it that some people are better at one thing than another? Why is that the case? It's because there are certain attributes that we have that allow us to connect to certain energies that promote those things, right? But they're trying to get everyone on one thinking wave, and that's very fucking dangerous. It's very fucking dangerous. This is why here's the thing. Yes, Pisces is quote unquote the 12th sign of the zodiac. Yes, Aquarius is quote unquote the 11th sign of the zodiac and the last air sign, but everything is still cyclical and it's a circle and it ebbs and flows, and there's technically no beginning or end, right? Yes, we acknowledge Aries as being the first sign of the zodiac. We acknowledge that, but there's technically no beginning or end. It can easily be the sixth sign of the zodiac if we really wanted it to, depending upon your perspective, based off of your houses, too, right? That's why there is balance. That's why we have fixed air, but we also have mutable air, Gemini, and cardinal air, Libra. That's why when it comes to our emotions, we have cardinal, mutable, fixed. Same goes for fire, same goes for earth. Balance, balance, harmony. There is a danger here with this one world. They're trying to kill off certain energies. They're trying to kill Gemini. First of all, with that, they're trying to kill Gemini. They're going to try and manipulate the fuck out of Libra. Okay. The other energies that they're trying to kill off is Scorpio. They're trying to kill Scorpio off. They're going to try and manipulate Cancer. I don't think they're really worried about Pisces so much, but they're trying to kill off certain energies. They're also trying to kill off Leo, which that's another one that it's like you wouldn't think that they would try to kill off Leo because it's the sun, but they're trying to kill Leo as well. And it's not good. It's not good. That's the other thing. I feel like a lot of these systems have been hijacked. That's probably why I've been feeling a little bit apathetic lately, because there are a lot of good people out there that are utilizing these tools, astrology, tarot, and such, but there are also a lot of people that are utilizing these tools for negative purposes. So astrology has been hijacked in a sense. Tarot has been hijacked. The use of crystals, singing bowls, yoga, meditation. A lot of these energies have been hijacked and have been used for darker purposes. And I think some of you all can probably feel that. I know I can feel it, which is why I've been feeling a little disillusioned lately about it. But for me, I know that I'm using this energy, using these tools to not only better my understanding about the world around me and the world of me and in me, but to also help other people realize their truth, realize their powers, and realize who they truly are. So I feel like these are all tools that will help us realize who we really are and who our soul is and why we came here and what we are doing here. So as I said earlier, have some compassion for yourself. Be kind to yourself. Give yourself the benefit of the doubt. There are a lot of doubts hanging around. There are a lot of doubts hanging around with a lot of people. And I'm not trying to just project that. I'm speaking from my own personal experience. As someone who wants to see the world heal, as someone who wants to see this new world really come through and blossom. And it's going to happen. It's going to happen. It already has happened. Okay. So a lot of us actually come from that new world, and we came back to this time right now to make sure that it actually is built. A lot of us are the architects of this energy, right? We are the architects of this energy, of this new world. We have been called to do so, to build it. So let's build it together, beloved. I really do believe that while we are in some pretty intense and crazy, wacky times, this is a weird timeline that we're all in. But I do believe that we are raising the vibration of this planet, and we're bringing it into a new light. We're bringing this world into a new space and a new energy, never before seen. Earth and its development is very fucking far behind, but we're about to catch up. We're about to take a hyperspace leap. That's why it feels so crazy right now. We're getting ready for a hyperspace jump. And when we make this hyperspace jump, there's going to be a sort of drag energy. That drag energy is this whole one world that they're trying to build, that they're trying to create, this whole one world energy, new world order, quote unquote. There's a sort of drag. It's sort of like a blur. It's coming like a dust, We're going through this hyperspace jump. I don't know about you guys, but I'm preparing for the jump. And I fully intend to be on that earth that is on the other side of that jump. Not the one that's left behind, but the one that's moving forward. And I trust that you will be with me too. And if you happen to find yourself around people that you may feel may be in that old world, do not worry. For no one is forsaken, because the one true God is all loving and all compassionate and loves all of his children. God that is perpetuated in a lot of these Judeo-Christian faiths. That God has hijacked a lot of people's minds. A lot of people. The one true God is really loving and loves all of his children. And no one is forsaken, no matter how far behind and no matter how deep in the dark waters they may be. You're still loved. You're still cherished. Know that. Just know that, beloved. Anyways, y'all take care. Stay blessed, as always. I'll see you all in the next video. And I appreciate those of you who happen to catch me live at this time of night. I hope I'm coming out of my funk, guys. I really do miss you guys. I really do miss making these videos. I just doing my best to process what's going on. I think I can do better, though. I know I can do better. So I love you all so much. Y'all take care. Stay blessed. I'll see you all in the next transmission.